So like J2 and B9. This is a PC map, is it not? So like. So you heard me. You heard me coming through. Hold on. Hold on. You heard me coming through your stream when you had the broadcast party thing on, and it just started working all of a sudden for no reason. Where's that option? Can't find it. Broadcast party chat. Try turning it back on. Alright. Well, you lied. It's northwest corner and southeast corner. No, you said northeast and southwest. You said northeast, southwest. You lied to me, Joe. You lied to me. Okay, so the starting areas are pretty well covered. A little tough to come back and defend your base if somebody's on it from the looks of things, but I guess if you do get eyes, it's they're pretty exposed once you get eyes. It's just, you know, getting a tank back here quickly enough would be a bit of a problem. F5. I'll be there in a bit. I'm going to check out around H3 and whatnot. It looks like that's where the majority of the battle would wind up, because it seems kind of like the straightest route. If you have good gun depression, you could probably get up here and be in a much stronger position. If you have decent turret armor, good gun depression, you can go nice and haul down here. I'll bet you a Japanese medium could just poop on people from this location. It's a really, really steep hill, and you can't look over on the south side towards the K1 sector. Ooh, I almost fell off. But you can get up this hill. Oh, never mind. Starla? Starla, okay, fine. No, she doesn't like being called Starla, but I'm gonna keep calling her Starla. Okay, so remind me to turn off this big map option, because like I said, I don't like it. I know what the back, like, I mean, I'm still hitting the back button to open up where the hell I am, even with the big square mini map, because it's irritating. So it looks like in this area here, if you get onto kind of the H3 location, you've got shots up to the north there. It looks like there's a gap right about here through the wall. So you've got shots up to there, but on this south side, on this south side, you've got some rocks for cover, but it's essentially, you know, whichever guys can get a tank with good gun depression over to this part of the hill. I can see this little piece of hill being very popular with tanks with good gun depression. You know, like Japanese mediums would do quite well here. An STA-1 would do good, a Type 61. I'll bet you even a T-110E5, Tier 10 heavy tank, or any U.S. heavy tank. If you brought your U.S. heavy tank to this location here on the map, right down here in J2, I'll bet you could do really well using your turret armor to soak damage, but you could still get enough gun depression to aim your gun down and actually shoot your targets. Yeah. Yeah, so this map's not even available to everybody on the PC version. Like, it's on the PC version, but it's not available for everybody. I kind of like this little area in the south. This will probably be where I come with any tank more often than not. I can picture myself with an E5 or like an STP-1 up top where you are, or even like a little pesky scout tank. But also you've got this corner down here. There's a pretty sweet rock where if you have enough cover above you, you could probably side scrape okay off of this rock here, and even off of the corner of the hill, right over this way. Right here, you could probably side scrape fairly decently off of this corner here. But I'd probably just, if I had like an IS-8 or something, which doesn't have very good gun depression, but it's got a really good gun, probably just play peekaboo around that corner, or even take a funny spot right here on this rock. So who's Chad? Uh-oh. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if our if our developers did more than just, you know, oh hey, here's the battle, here's Heroes of the Weekend, here's some weekly videos and stuff. You know, that's all well and good, but like, you know, a little more bone throwing to the community would be great. Like putting up you. Pacific Island was Chad, yeah, I know. But from the looks of things, the main battles are probably going to appear in this part of this hill. You got this part of the hill, which also controls the little valley in here. Through the town, obviously, is going to be a bit of a fight. And we'll check up here. This looks like the top of some kind of a hill where tanks with gun depression have an alternate route to go to. But essentially, along from the K1 to the A0 sector, it looks like just along that line, right down the middle of the map is where the majority of fighting is going to go on this map for sure. See, like I said, there's lots of cover here in this part of the map. So if you had somebody coming from the town and they come through this little gap here, they're still largely protected from several angles. If there's anybody on top of this hill here, they're largely protected by these rocks for a fair bit of their approach, and then they got to be exposed as they try to come around behind. But I can see that happening. If there's a bit of a stalemate going on in the south, and like your team wins the town area, you can definitely have some mediums push through that part of the map, or even your lights push through that part of the map, come through this gap here, and then they can get up behind any enemy tanks that are using the hill in H3, or even in the south in K1, K2. That'd be I can definitely see that happening. It's actually fairly easy to read maps, I find. But let's move around a little bit here. So we've got the town just right here. Steep cliff. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. This might even be. Yeah, this might be a decent spot if you have some mediums try and rush to this area. Not only get some initial spots, but try and snipe a couple heavies, get some early damage in on any enemy heavy tanks coming into the town. It doesn't look like you have very many good shots from here, though, from the looks of things, because there's a lot of those buildings in the way, and the approaches are covered by a lot of trees. So it looks like it'd be a little bit tough to actually get some spots and get some damage in, but you know, there could be a lot of contention for this part of the map as well. If people vie for that part of the map for control, you know, you could see a lot of action there. Looks like another good spot for tanks with really good gun depression, you know, 8 to 10 degrees. So, you know, US heavy tanks, US medium tanks, Japanese medium tanks, things like that. Let's take a look through the town here. There's There's just so many undulations in this terrain. I don't see much of this map being very forgiving to tanks without much gun depression. What the hell? This thing's indestructible, really? Yeah, okay. So the big palace on Sacred Valley is indestructible, but this little hut here, nope, can't destroy that because, you know, logic. So we got about 5 minutes left. We got about 5 minutes left here. I want to check out the town. Yeah, that's something I didn't really think about. All these funny changes in the terrain and whatnot really make it easier for you to hide from artillery, especially the smaller tanks. Like a little light tank could hide much more easily behind this rock here, unless it's an artillery that has huge amounts of splash. Now, coming up the mountain here, right away, I can see the first problem with coming up this way is you are completely cut off from the rest of the map on the entire approach. Like, nobody will see you coming up here, except for somebody who is directly behind you or directly in front of you on this choke point. So that's both a good and bad thing. As you're going up here and your friendlies are getting spots down below, you can't suddenly stop and go, oh, I got shots down there. And at the same time, this spot here, this looks like it might be a pretty cool location to kind of post up and start shooting down on people in the town, but there's really no cover here. I don't really see I don't see myself coming up here very often, very much. I mean, the whole approach from the enemy base, though, as you can see on the map here, it's very well covered. Like, I've got really good coverage on even these rocks way back in their spawn. But even from back here, if there was somebody, like, I can see half of the enemy base from here. Your base, Joe. I can see about half of it. So, like, if somebody gets eyes over there, I could snipe somebody capping the base from way back here. It doesn't look like such of a case down here. There's probably that big ass wall in the way, but let's keep going here. I don't think this hill is really going to be as important as it would be on maps like Karelia and whatnot, to be totally honest. Because on Karelia you could get up top there, and there's all sorts of good cover for people who are up top there. You've got protection from artillery, and there's a whole bunch of shot lanes because your view isn't blocked by a big ass mountain in your way. It just doesn't look very viable on this map because the majority of your view out to the other, 80% of the map is largely blocked for the most part. Looks like some interesting fights could go through if one team completely gives up the town. There's still plenty of cover before and after the town on both sides, all sorts of little hills and rocks where you can get to cover and still slug it out and draw out the enemy's push. Yeah, definitely. I would much rather be in like an IS-8 or an E5 on this map than say an E100 or a Maus. I can tell you that much. And again, this base here, like, if you're capturing it, there's really no cover aside from these houses. So I'd say if you spawn on this side of the map and you're rolling out, knock these fucking houses down. Knock them all down, just in case. If somebody gets on your base and you gotta hustle back, that is the only bit of cover that they can hide behind. So if you got a platoon of 3 people, just quickly knock this crap down, get it out of the way before you move out. So, yeah. You could have like a tiny ass ELC coming right back here to this little bush back here, even just hanging out here. There weren't really many bushes in the other base, but there also wasn't houses and hardcover, from what I recall. Anyways, we got a minute left, so I just want to check out one more thing. I want to take a peek over here. It looks like there's another path over the mountain. Looks like. Don't actually quote me on that. No, it's just kind of rice paddies and stuff. Now the wall itself, I wonder if there is any way to kind of traverse along the wall itself. Probably not, but let's take a look anyways. So once this game's over, we'll jump into Hidden Village. We'll do a little tour of Hidden Village. So far, Great Wall, I already know where I'm probably going to go on 90% of my games in Hidden Village, and it's honestly going to be this south area down here, no matter what tank I'm in, because you can take just about any kind of tank, good gun depression, bad gun depression, a good side scraper, even, you can take it over there, and you know, you could probably do really well with it. I don't really see the town as much of a viable option for a side scraper because most of those buildings seem destructible. And if other people are being cheeky and there's a lot of high rate of fire enemy tanks there, they can get cheeky and just knock down all your cover, and now it doesn't matter that you're side scraping because the whole front of your hull is exposed. Alright, so let's load up Hidden Village. I don't understand why 9, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like 22 to 25 of the 100 grid squares are nothing but gigantic ass mountain. Yeah, let's go down to the south side first. So here we are on Hidden Village. Joe is on the other side in his RU, and I've got my 1390. We'll just do a quick tour of Hidden Village. Now right off the bat I see there's a kind of a road behind the start point, or the spawn point, sorry, that leads up to this hill way up here in the south. Hey, there's an interesting little checkpoint. Okay, cool. At first glance, though, this map is really good looking. I like the atmosphere on this map. The mountains look really good. The sunlight looks awesome, for sure. So I'm taking my sweet time coming up here. I remember watching a lot of gameplay of Hidden Village on the PC, looking at various medium tank reviews way back in the day for a lot of the tier 10 medium tanks that we still hadn't gotten yet, like the Leopard 1 and the STB-1, and I was really excited to get this map out, and I've been excited to get this map for a little over a year now. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, these rocks right here. Yeah, there's another rock on that side too. I think you're right. I don't see the town as being as populated as over here, because this almost looks like kind of the middle area on Pearl River, where you see a lot of heavy tanks go to really early in the game. I kind of see a similar thing, but there's a much wider, much more open area. It's pretty flat too, so you don't need a shitload of good gun depression. You could get away with Russian levels of gun depression. You could probably put an IS-3 up here and do stellar, without a doubt. There's obviously a little path, kind of little flanking routes around these areas as well. You can probably slip through here almost unnoticed. If they don't have anybody on this rock back here or on the other side, you could probably slip through here unnoticed, get it behind somebody, and just put a shot or two into their backside, get some cheeky damage in, turn tail and run the fuck away. Kind of what it looks like here. Now obviously up top here you'll want an okay amount of gun depression. Again, probably not a shitload, but more would be better than none. If you got no gun depression, you're probably just going to stay in this kind of flat area. And again, this big ridge in the way kind of limits the viability of staying up here. You've only got these two locations. There's one here, and the other one is right over here, kind of on the top of the mountain, in the F7 G6 area, where you can actually look across and shoot down to the river or the village across the river even. There's multiple routes to get up here though. Two on either side. You can get back down in more ways than you can get up too, which is always nice. Let's see how deep this river is. Probably not very. Oh well, I just found the crossing anyways, so whatever. Let's see if we can get the tank a little bit wet. Glub 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 glub. My tank's all wet. There's little water droplets flying off the tank now as well. It looks super cool. As much as I might complain that, you know, water effects, like environmental effects and all that jazz, like, yeah, it'll look cool, but I'd really rather have, like, balance changes and stuff like that. As much as I'll, you know, reiterate that, you know, they still did a really good job with these visuals. They look really cool. You know what, we'll do that right after this. We'll jump on a snow map and have our tanks sit still and see how much snow they can get on. No, it doesn't sound boring at all. It'll be super exciting. We'll have a race to see who... That's probably like a death trap in the early parts of the game. Alright, these parts look kind of familiar. So we're on the complete north edge of the town. I can see some fighting going on here, but this is a really big choke point. I don't know, man. I kind of picture a lot of people with heavy tanks going up here, and there just be one big-ass stalemate. And everybody just kind of sits tight until an assault TD shows up and starts beating the shit out of people. Okay, that dragonfly is gigantic. I'm going to shoot it. It's very scary. Bugs should not be that big. Hold still, goddammit. It's the giant Japanese dragonfly. Shoot it! Oh my god, my round right through it. Alright, well that's a tiny little kind of side route. But, I don't know. I can see lots of heavies coming over here too. This big ass palace is probably not destructible. Yeah. Yeah, that is really good artillery cover. I wonder if this tall tower is destructible. Didn't think so. Fucking rocks. Well, it looks like a lot of these, if you want protection in this part of the town here, it definitely the tall towers, those are an obvious indestructible building. The palace itself, obviously that's a big indestructible piece of cover. Looks like most of these houses, though, are completely destroyable. So you won't want to hang around these houses. Well, still, you see it. I see it happen all the time. Somebody's side-scraping off of a destructible building, and they accidentally, or, well, they're trying to side-scrape, but not only are they side-scraping poorly, but they pull too far forward and destroy 90% of their cover. And it's like GG. And besides, if I have a fast-firing gun, like Type 59 or faster, and the Type 59 doesn't shoot very quick, right? I will shoot down the building you're hiding behind. I do it all the time. And a lot of people don't realize that I am destroying their cover until I can see right through the rubble of the house. And I usually have, before they react, I usually have enough time to put a shot in one of their weak spots and deal some damage, so that tends to happen. But it really doesn't look like there's much to this map apart from the south side, where you're probably right, there's probably going to be most of the fighting going on there. But I can see some fairly extensive battles going on down here in the village part. I don't think the main reason that the village will not really see as much action compared to the other part is there's just too much crap in the way. You know, like there's just too much houses in the way, blocking your shots, blocking your line of sight, so on and so forth. And I know me personally, I like having vision in parts of the map. If I'm going to a town area, I want to set up on a corner where if I peek out, I'm looking, you know, multiple blocks down the road. And I can see a long ways and spot stuff that's coming from like miles away. GG. Professional driving tactics 101. GG. Strong tactics. You know what? Unless you're kind of suicidal, but I don't know. I don't know. I could see it happening. If you got a decent force heading to the town to hold back people from getting all the way around on your side, you can actually use this rock as okay cover. Not great cover, obviously, but if you have the gun depression, definitely you can peek over and get some shots off. If any of their heavy tanks are still trying to move up to the mountain and they didn't go the back way, they're trying to come up this way right in front of you. It's only about 270, 280 meters away. That'd be very easy to get some damage and shots in. But again, it would be very important for people not to push far enough up in the town where this rock is completely nullified. But I mean, if people are able to get shots on you there's just nowhere to hide. So you need. I can picture people who are trying to get up there with things like Borsigs or something. If they have a really good crew on their Borsig with really good camo ratings and a camo net and stuff, I can see things like Borsigs moving over there and posting up there. But as I said, once it's spotted, it's got nowhere to hide, and it would just get obliterated. I'm not gonna lie. My issue with this part of the map here is actually its greatest strength. It's not like the town where you can get shot from across the map in your flanks from across the town. When you're up here, fighting in this area up here, you don't have to worry about that. You just got to worry about the tanks in front of you and make sure that you keep an eye on your map, make sure nobody's slipping in behind you without you or your team knowing. So, pretty sure the majority of the action on this map, you'll probably see 9 to 10 tanks from each team come to this part of the map. It's got better protection. And if you control this part of the map, you can essentially control the map. Because like I said, you can have tanks post up in these areas here, you know, using that little bit for cover where you are. You can use this bit for cover, peek over, and you can probably see their base and spot their artillery, snipe out their artillery, and come out just a little bit further, trying to shoot any tanks that they have left in the town here. There's only one spot in the town where you can't shoot them, and that's the spot that's way the fuck up here. I just shot the tower, not the town. I wonder if the building... Yep, the foundation of the palace itself is indestructible, but the building on top of the foundation is very destroyable. I just shot a couple pieces off. Oh my god! So I'm going to take a look at the base locations. I didn't really get a good look over there. There's an interesting little kind of farm village right here that I'm going to take a look at over here in Charlie 1, Charlie 2. Yeah. Now, you probably don't want to accidentally drive into this part of the map where I am right now in Delta 1 because this is a dead end. I can see artillery posting up here if they plan to get shots to these kind of parts of the map, like over here and over here. But beyond that, I don't really see this part of the map being useful for anything. And this is kind of an obvious little hidey hole for an artillery to be sitting. So enemy artillery is likely going to be having their guns trained over here. Take a look at the base itself. So kind of like on Great Wall, not a lot of cover in the base, very little terrain differences for sure, and not even a lot of foliage. You have this house, you have this little hut, but again, I'd say if you spawn on this side of the map, you're just kind of driving out. That's much easier and quicker to destroy than on Great Wall. Yeah, I know where you are. You could even go right about here. You could even have an artillery go right about here. Yeah. To the other base! Probably have about a minute when we get there to take a look at it, and that's fine. 15 minutes on each map. Panzerkampfwagen! You can actually traverse this whole map in a quick tank pretty quickly. Well, I can already see where I'm going to be going, like I said, for 9 out of 10 of my games on both maps. I'd say the southern parts on both maps are easily going to be the most hotly contested areas, hands down. Great Wall's kind of like a super Abbey because it's got more corridor points than Abbey. But it's essentially just go here, fight what's in front of you. Yeah, they'd probably have some shots. If you get a spotter that spots their tanks coming up right here, you could probably get an early shot off. There's another depression in the back, just like on the other base, but the base itself, again, not very much cover. It's very level, not really level terrain, but it's kind of on a gentle incline. There's really only this house inside the base for cover, so again, if you spawn on this side, I definitely recommend you just knock that house down. That way their cover in the base is largely destroyed. There's this... I know, right? There's just a road leading out of the map, and it's like, I want to go check out what it is. Eh. Well, that was fun.